Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Hollander, or welcome back if you're already subscribed. Now, first of all, apologies for this format, but unfortunately I have no time to make videos these days. I had an idea for this clickbait title because I think during our lives we all have experienced a job interview in one form or another, and we can all relate to this. In some form, this form or another, we will have this question asked. So I'm asking you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And this question really relates to having a long-term plan, or the lack of a long-term plan, just to test if you actually think about your future, if you can assess your present situation and think about your future. So I'm asking you now. You know, the problem with trading, and let's leave Gann for now, the problem with trading is that most people just start watching these videos and influencers, but then they just jump headfirst straight into this topic without realizing that we all have different goals in life, different options depending on where you live, where you are, and so on and so forth. The problem for the future, for the long term, is that if you compare it to a daily job, do you really want to see yourself sitting in front of a screen the whole day doing so-called trading? Or you actually thought about having a long-term plan, why you want to use trading? Or let's just put this word aside for now and let's talk about earning money as a side income. Now, the first problem with this is when you make more money, you will soon realize that they will take more and more money off you. During all my videos, which are not really videos but presentations, I always try to avoid being too personal. And there's a good reason for that, because it revolves around this same thing I just call the different options as individuals. Because if you watch influencers, let's just call them that, or personalities in trading, what you don't realize is that you fall into a mindset. You fall into the mindset that you want to follow them, and you fall into a trap. Probably I was a bit different from the start, because I also followed persons. Some were very good, some were very good at trading but not really good at trading education. But I will mention a few things about that further down the line. So I've tried to avoid being too personal during my presentations, because I don't want you to fall into this follower mindset where you just try to copy and live somebody else's life. By the end of the day, your life is yours. We are all individuals. You can't just follow somebody else's life without making sacrifices in your own personal life. They don't tell you this. No, they don't. All they say to you are just follow these exact steps and you'll be successful. But how can I follow the exact steps when I live a completely different life, probably live in a completely different part of the world, different familial situation and all that? So instead of repeating myself over and over again, let me just give you an example. For instance, I used to follow a trading educator for years and years, and I didn't really need all the education by that time, because, you know, the issue with trading, which most people don't tell you, the educators are, or let me just phrase it simply, you can always teach people trading for years and years, but after a while there's really nothing new. You will just keep repeating yourself, keep repeating the same things. So you'll realize that if you follow the same person for years and years. Because what happens, people become attached to you, and also people will confuse this activity of following somebody else They will confuse this activity with action. You know what I mean, but to get back to my story, so what happened to this trading educator? I used to follow them and I liked them because it was just interesting, and obviously, it's a lonely business after all. So if you have a really good team around you, it really helps. And they had a trading room, which is, if I'm honest, quite another topic of discussion, so just leave it at that. But they had this trading room with weekly videos and also trading programs and all that. So after a while, they slipped into this. They became a disappointment. They changed their faces. They brought new people in. As they have become successful, they just kept bringing new people into their team. And after a while, it just wasn't about the same thing anymore. This was all before this craze of social media. Social media was really in its infancy those days. You didn't even have all that feeling in a team, or you couldn't just find people that you could just follow so easily. And so all of a sudden they pushed out these new videos, filming themselves in a car driving through the automatic gates of a massive house, showing the drone footage of the house from up above, and I said, it just wasn't anymore that I had subscribed to. Don't tell me what I should be looking at in my future. Like, I have my personal life, and this was just distasteful, showing off. But just showing off like, we made it. We made it. Look at us. But if I'm honest, it just made me laugh because one of them was this English person, this English bloke, just going on about in this massive car, showing the massive house. And he had a swimming pool in his garden. So you can imagine the level. If you know England, a swimming pool in your garden. I mean, come on, seriously, mate. For what? 2 days for a summer? And so after a while, watching these videos, I just left the whole thing and, didn't really think about it anymore. It just didn't feel right. But this really takes me back to the point that I never liked salesmen who wanted to push you into a decision, push you into following a certain life, just pursuing something you never liked in the first place. I never liked salesmen in the first place. This attitude and, like this trading education, it turned into a showboat when it was a really nice community before that. And especially in this day and age, since then, especially even back then, you have the internet, so all it takes is an internet search, especially in the field of these so-called coaches who just come and go. These days everybody just call themselves a coach of some sort, whether it's trading or any other business. They get successful, they start charging you first £5,000 for nothing more than a virtual handshake, or then £10,000 or dollars for a 3-day course, and they will say, we'll teach you this and that, we have this indicator, we have this program, we have this trading room. And especially trading rooms really got into me because anyway, I think I'll leave that for another discussion. I don't want to digress. That's quite another topic. But you all know these kinds of people, so basically that's just, say, salesmen in general, whether it's insurance or cars, you all know those kinds. So what my point here is that, I will probably repeat this 100 times anyway, if you don't respect people as individuals, your customers especially, I was basically a customer of theirs, especially when you're teaching them something, not technically personal finance, but financial freedom, freedom of choice and options, that kind of stuff. And you don't respect them as individuals, you don't realize they all have different options and perspectives, then what was the whole point in the first place? Don't force anybody into following a certain kind of lifestyle. And also people will start questioning you because why are you pressurizing me, following your perfect lifestyle when I never wanted that in the first place. People will start questioning if you really made it by selling your own courses for tens of thousands of dollars, and especially if it's nothing worth anyway, as I said, because most people will treat it like an activity, I'm just doing this, but they never even implement it in action anyway. So again, what I'm saying, don't take this the other way around. Don't let trading organize your personal life instead of using a side income to your own advantage to achieve whatever you wanted to achieve, which could be just as simple as having $50 extra a month to help you. So let's just keep referring this as having a side income, even if it's irregular income, because when you think about trading, all these sorts of things will come to your mind. Whole showcase to shift your focus in the wrong direction of showing off. In my experience, most people just want to get on with their lives, and these kind of pushy salesman tactics take them out of perspective, make them focus on the wrong things instead of concentrating on and talking about a long-term plan and assessing where they actually are in the present. Now, what I mean here is probably some of you will build up a capital and then look at your trading records and say, well, now I'm better off putting all this money into a savings account because the interest rates went up and this capital will just earn me the same figure each year with less and less effort. But again, this brings me back to my point saying that if you want to sit in front of a screen 8 hours a day, then how is that different or better in any way than having a full-time job? Altogether, before this gets too long, I'll just stop here. I hope you've heard something useful. You can let me know what you think. Thanks for listening.